Think that losing fat is just about eating less and exercising more? Well, for seniors, there's one more important element, and in this video, you learn what that is. But before we get there, let me bust one quick myth, that it's your metabolism that's the problem. Your metabolism is only a slight problem. In one study, they compared metabolism, the speed of the metabolism of people between as young as 18 years old and as old as 81 years old. They saw that between the ages of 18 and 50, there is no change in metabolism whatsoever. Only after age 50 does metabolism slow down by 4% per decade. That's not very much. And furthermore, 3 out of those 4% could be attributed due to simply a loss of muscle mass, not because you're getting older, but usually due to simple neglect, just because of the absence of proper, correct strength training and adequate protein, which I talk about in my other videos. So it's not your metabolism that's the problem. To put things into context, if it takes you 2,000 calories to maintain your weight and your metabolism is 4% slower, it's going to take you 1,920 calories to maintain your weight. Only 80 calories yet less. It's not very much. So it's really not your metabolism that's to blame, but it's a very, very small thing that's to blame. There are a couple of other things. One that we need to talk about broadly is called TDEE. That stands for Total Daily Energy Expenditure. These are all the sources from where you could burn calories, and there are 4 of them. One is called BMR, that's your basal metabolic rate, or your metabolism, just how many calories you burn to stay alive. 2 is exercise, no surprises there. 3 is something called TEF, thermic effect of food. That is, whenever you eat food, you don't absorb 100% of the calories, but you absorb about 90% of those calories. You spend 10% of your calories digesting, absorbing, assimilating the food you've just eaten. So if you eat about 2,500 calories per day, you're going to spend 250 of those calories processing the food you just ate. And then the last component of TDEE, of total daily energy expenditure, is something called NEAT, N-E-A-T, which stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. What that means is these are all the areas that are movement but not formal exercise. For example, if you're walking around the mall, you're not exercising, but you are burning calories. If you're gardening, you're not exercising, but you are burning calories. If you're sitting there fidgeting, tapping your ankle, clicking the pen, twirling your hair. These are all very, very small movements, largely involuntary, that are not formal exercise, but they do burn calories. And so it's really NEAT that has the greatest drop with age. One study compared the number of calories burnt through NEAT between obese seniors and lean seniors. What they found is that the obese seniors spent 2.5 more hours per day seated compared to lean seniors. Well, no surprises there. This amounts to burning approximately 350 calories per day less than the lean seniors. And this is just one example. Many studies have found the same effect, and the number of calories burned ranges from as little as 170 calories less per day to as many as several hundred, more than 350. And so what is it that results in this drop in NEAT, in this drop in involuntary activity? Largely it's 2 things. One is simply a drop in muscle mass. If you have less muscle, you feel like moving around less because moving takes energy. The other one, sometimes happens in seniors, is joint pain. So you can negate a lot of this by reducing joint pain and by improving your muscle mass via strength training and adequate protein. So what's different about fat loss for seniors compared to fat loss for younger individuals? There's not a lot that's different, but there are a couple of things. One is that yes, metabolism does slow down with age, way less so if you're strength training, but even with strength training, it still slows down just a little bit. So the caloric requirements are just slightly lower for seniors compared to younger individuals. If you're wondering, how many calories should I be eating? Take your ideal body weight and multiply that by 13 and add in whatever calories you spend on exercise, and that's approximately your maintenance calories if you were at your ideal body weight, or if you're above your ideal body weight, then these are your weight loss calories. The other difference between seniors and younger individuals is that seniors have higher protein requirements. Why are their protein requirements higher? Because their ability to absorb it is lower. And so what are the requirements? Requirements for protein depend on 3 main factors. In no particular order. One is your weight. Heavier people, larger people, need more protein than smaller people. 2 is your activity levels. Are you sedentary? Are you doing cardio only? Are you doing strength training only? Or are you doing strength plus cardio? If you're doing either strength training only or strength plus cardio, you have higher protein requirements than people who do cardio only or completely sedentary. Let's assume for this video you are doing strength training. Not just little body pump classes, but real strength training with weights that challenge you and you can't do 30 repetitions with them. If that's you, you need approximately 2.0 to 2.2 grams per kilogram per day of protein. And the last element that's different between seniors and younger individuals is strength training. It is absolutely a must. Now, it's beneficial for younger individuals as well, don't get me wrong, but for seniors, it's an absolute must. When somebody loses weight, they're going to lose a combination of muscle and fat. Now, you don't want to lose any muscle whatsoever. You want to lose predominantly fat. So how do you control how much muscle and fat do you lose? Should it be 50-50? That would be pretty bad. To lose 1 pound of fat for every pound of muscle, that's not a good ratio. But if you want to minimize the muscle losses, you want to A, strength train, and B, eat adequate protein, as we talked about earlier. Now, seniors tend to lose more muscle mass and bone mass compared to younger individuals on the same caloric deficit. That's why strength training is an absolute must for seniors trying to lose weight. You don't want to just be lighter and leaner. You want to be lighter, leaner, and healthier. What if you were lighter, but you developed osteoporosis? Or you worsened existing osteoporosis? Well, that wouldn't be good either, right? So that's why you want to maintain strength training and adequate protein as you're losing body fat. And again, those are the 3 required elements for seniors to lose body fat. 1, adequate calories. 2, adequate protein. 3, strength training is compulsory. Now, if you need help creating a strength training routine that's right for you based on your goals, joint conditions, overall health conditions, whether you have blood sugar issues, blood pressure issues, etc., we have a service just for you. We offer personal training for seniors. If you click on the link in the description below, that'll take you to our homepage where you can fill out an application form for a quick 10 to 15 minute Zoom chat for free. During this chat, we're just going to discuss your situation and see whether or not we can help you. There's no pressure, no obligation, no hardcore sales pitch, just an assessment of your situation and an evaluation of whether or not we can help you. Finally, as I mentioned, NEAT drops a lot for seniors, especially if muscle mass drops and joint pain increases. So NEAT becomes extra important for seniors to lose body fat. Now, how do you add in more activity into your day that's not formal exercise? There are a few different ways. 1, go for a walk. Take your spouse, take your pet, take your dog, take your grandkids, just go for a walk. Another way to increase your NEAT is to walk and talk. If you're going to be on the phone, you're going to be talking to somebody, you might as well, if you're in your office, pace around your office. If you're going to go outdoors, you can do that. Those are all great ways to increase your NEAT. And a final way to increase your NEAT is to, if you're watching TV, put a bicycle in front of your TV or a treadmill or anything and move while you're watching TV. Even if you don't have any fitness equipment, just stand in one spot and walk in place. These are all ways, not exhaustive by the way, of increasing your NEAT. These are all the small involuntary things that per hour don't burn a lot of calories, but spread across many hours throughout many days and weeks will help you burn body fat better than if you only do the strength training, the exercise, and the nutrition. If you like this information, we have a free newsletter for people over 50, just like you. If you click on the other link in the description below, you'll be able to subscribe to that newsletter for free, and you'll always have the option of unsubscribing. Thank you and goodbye.